let's take 3 deep breaths together. Deep inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. One more deep inhale and exhale. There is an epidemic that I am also guilty of, that is going on around the world, and that is comparaditis, comparitis, comparisonitis. I don't know which one we want to go with. Comparitis. That is when one compares themselves to another. And this is something that I am guilty of doing. And I find when I do it that it doesn't make me feel any better. Like, usually I don't feel good about it. And for example, I am a vegetarian. And I have been a vegetarian for a few years. And I've known people who have became vegetarian or like vegan for a long time. And they're like, I've lost all this weight. I'm like, really? Because I haven't. And then, but that is fine because I'm good. I'm great. And I love me. Yay, me. Another one I know that there are people that can relate to this one is like, I am 32 and single, and there are times when if I were to compare myself to some of my friends, like, oh my gosh, so-and-so is married, or so-and-so is married and has kids, or why am I not married? Why don't I have kids? What's going on? Is there something wrong with me? And you start spiraling out of control, and that's not, you don't learn anything from that at all. So when I catch myself comparing myself to someone else, I pause, like just stop it right then and there, and I try to redirect myself by thinking of like comparing myself to myself. When I compare myself to myself, I feel like I'm able to learn from it. There are things I can pull from it and try to figure out if there are things that I can do to kind of get myself back into whatever it is. Like a few years ago, I had a really good yoga practice. I was practicing yoga consistently, and when I look back at that, I'm like, oh man, what were the things I was doing like to be in that space, and what can I do now? Because right now I have a lot of things on my plate, and I'm just I'm not going out to practice yoga as much. So just like looking at those two things and comparing, like, what can I do now? And it is about prioritizing. What things can I prioritize so that I'm able to make time to go and practice. So I'm saying this to encourage you when you have when you notice yourself comparing yourself to another, just to pause, just pause, take a moment, and ask yourself, like, am I going to learn something from this comparison? If not, just drop it, because I have yet to come across a comparison where I felt better. Like, I don't feel good when I think about myself compared to another. Or even if there's a comparison of me being better than someone else, then I feel sad for the other person. Like, I don't feel good in any way about it. And then, like, those of you who may have kids, comparing your kids to some other kids, growing up, that would happen with me. And I remember being a kid just like not enjoying that feeling. Even if I was the kid, like the kid that was being compared to, like, Kristen knew when she was 8 years old that she wanted to be an engineer, which is a true statement. And like, but when I would hear that if another kid was being told that, I just felt so bad for the other kid. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Sorry for knowing what I wanted to be when I grew up. I'm sorry. But even though I'm not really an engineer now, but I'm still in the technical field, so that's okay. And I just feel like if we can, like, just stop. Let's just stop comparing ourselves to others because we're all awesome. I'm awesome. You're awesome. We are all whole. I need to tell myself that and remind myself that I am not lacking. You are not lacking. But baby steps, yeah? Baby steps. Baby steps together. No more comparison. 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 Mm, 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 mm.